Welcome to EngTech Media, your gateway to engineering and technology. Subscribe now for more innovative content.
Hello, you are all welcome back. So in this class, we're going to be looking at user research. Alright, so we're going to be looking at user research. So what is user research? So we're going to be explaining in details what user research is in UI UX design. Alright, so user research is the methodic study of target users, including their needs and pain points. Alright, so targeting users and targeting what they need and the things they're interested in. So designers have the sharpest possible insight to make the best designs according to the need of the client. Alright, so user researchers uses various methods to expose problems and design opportunities and find crucial information to use in their design process. So we look at the get to know your users. Alright, get to know your users and what they want. So it is important for you to get to know your users and know what they want. That is the purpose of the user research. So to call user research a crucial part of an interaction process might seem overly obvious. Indeed, it's the only way to discover exactly what these users need. Alright, so having first found out precisely who they are, to set out to generate these facts, you must gather data from your users through a structured approach. First, you must choose methods, alright, that suit your research. And number two, use the clearest information afterwards to get the insights you want. Alright, you will need to interpret your findings from all data, which can be tricky. Alright, so you can also apply user research anytime during the design process. Typically, researchers begin with qualitative measures to discover users' needs and motivations. So they might later test their results by using qualitative measures. So these are the things that user research look out for. So let's look at the qualitative research. Alright, ethnographic field studies and interviews are examples of methods that can help you build a deep understanding or why users behave the way they do. We'll look at, e.g., why they leave a website so quickly. Maybe they don't like the design. So these are the things we're going to look at for why they leave a website or an app so quickly without spending much time on it. The user interface is very important. So this is one of the importance of qualitative research. Alright, for instance, you can interview a small number of users and get sharp insight into their shopping habits by asking them open-ended questions. Usability testing is another dimension of this type of research. E.g., we have examining users' stress level when they use a certain design. Alright, you check their stress level when they use a particular set of designs and know what they have to say about that design. It's very important. Alright, qualitative research requires great care, so as it involves collecting non-numerical data, e.g., non-numerical data, things like opinions. Alright, so your own opinion might influence findings. So these are very important. So we're also going to look at the quantitative research. First, we talked about qualitative research. Now we're talking about quantitative research. With more structured methods such as survey, you gather measurable data about what users do and test assumptions you develop from qualitative research. Alright, an example is to use an online survey to ask users questions about their shopping habits, e.g., approximately how many items of clothing do you buy online per year. So questions like that to know what these people do online. This is talking about the quantitative research. Alright, you can use this data to find patterns within a large user group. In fact, the larger the sample of representative test users, the more likely you will have a statistically reliable way of assessing the target user population. Alright, so regardless of the method, with careful research, you can gather objective and unbiased data. Alright, nevertheless, quantitative data alone cannot expose deeper human insights. So there are so many, you will have to use different methods altogether. From one method to another, you have to use the multiple method. Alright, we will also look at the attitudinal and behavioral research. That is the attitude of the people, the attitude of your users. We can also split user research into two approaches. We have attitudinal approach. That means you will listen to users' word, e.g. in interviews. That's the attitudinal approach, the way they interact. We have the behavioral approach. You watch their actions through observation studies. Alright, these are part. So usually you can get the sharpest view of design problem when you apply a mixture of both quantitative and qualitative research, as well as a mixture of attitudinal and behavioral approach. So all these methods altogether must be used in order to get your key behavioral research. Alright, so what are the key considerations in user research? However you approach user research, always consider the pros and cons of each technique. Alright, so card sorting is cheap and easy, for example, but may provide time consuming when you proceed to analysis. Alright, so it's when you proceed to analysis, it can be time consuming. Alright, so moreover, it might not provide in-depth contextual meaning of what you want. So we're going to answer some questions about user research. So we have got some answers. So these are the questions and answers that people might have to ask about the user research. So I'm going to be answering most of them. So first we have user research versus US design. How do they differ? So we are talking about user research. We also have US design. It's a combination, UI US. So what is the difference? How do they differ from each other, the user research and the US design? So while both are integral to the user experience, user research and US design serves different purposes. User research delves deep into understanding user preferences and needs, paving the way for informed design strategies. In contrast, US design is about sculpting a product based on that insight. Alright, sculpting a product based on that insight, ensuring it both users centric and eccentric pleasing. So you must ensure that it is both user centric and eccentric pleasing. Alright, so that's for the UI. So design is arguably the defining human endeavor that separates us from all other species. Take a look around you right now and you will notice that everything has been designed, from how you sleep to how you eat and to how you communicate. So everything around you has been designed by someone. In other words, user experience design or US design. So that's the meaning. Can a user research be a career? So these are questions asked by a lot of persons. Can a user research be a good career? That means, is user research a good career? User research is a fulfilling career for individuals driven to comprehend user behavior. If you are intrigued by a career that combines both analytic and creative insights, consider delving into this field for a comprehensive understanding. Explore the user research learning paths on our platform to know more about that. So how much does a user research earn? Alright, so according to data available, user researchers are seeing competitive pay in the industry. On average, they can earn from $92,000 to $146,000 annually, depending on the brand you are working with. Alright, in some similar firm, user research duties might be combined with a broader US role. Alright, to understand how salaries can differ by region or delve into a broader perspective on US related pay. Alright, so that is how they get paid yearly according to data available. So is there a difference between user research and US research? There is. So think of US research as a subset of user research. While both focus on understanding users, user research casts a broader net, examining topics like pricing or delivery preference. UI research, meanwhile, zeroes in on how users interact with a product and their experience doing so. Alright, you get the difference. In short, user research look at broader interactions, while US research specifically studies products. Alright, the product use studies the product. All these are things you can also look out for. All right. Which techniques are employed in user research? All right. So these are another question. Which techniques are employed in user research? User research utilizes varied techniques such as usability testing, A/B testing. Okay, if those that are also running Facebook ad, there is what we call ABC testing. So we have surveys, we have card sorting. We are going to look deep into these surveys. We have card sorting, we have interviews, analysis, right, and ethnographic studies. Every approach brings unique insights and is ideal for specific situation. So it's essential to choose the proper technique based on your research. All right, based on your research and your audience behavior So discover these techniques further in great. You can go deep into our research in order to get more of this. All right, so there's another question: is a degree necessary to become a user researcher? While a related degree can be beneficial, it is not strictly required to become a user researcher. Many successful user researchers have degrees in diverse fields like psychology, design, anthropology, statistics, or human-computer interaction. What's crucial is a mix of relevant education, hand-on experience, and continuous learning. Even if some employers might favor candidates with a bachelor's degree, it can be in something other than a US-focused area. Only some degrees specifically target user research. To strengthen your knowledge, consider courses like data-driven design. These are kind of the courses that can actually, be more specific about US. But in most cases, there is no consideration about the particular course which you are currently studying. All right, so it doesn't really matter what you have. Whatever you have can be accepted, provided you can actually learn what the pros and cons of the UI UX design. So we have another question: what does the user research process involve? All right, so why each user research project is unique. Some standard steps guide most endeavors. All right, we have number one: determine the research question. The things you are working on, the project that you are working on determines the research question that you are going to be asking. So you can work on 3 different projects, and the things you are going to the research question are going to be different because the project you are working on determines the questions. All right, so number 2, we look at choose the proper research techniques. So these are things that involve choosing the proper research techniques. All right, so as we are talking about so many techniques that you can make use of, so you choose the proper research techniques. In case all the techniques you are not going to make use of them, you can choose the proper one. There are proper techniques that are more specifically targeted to your particular project. So you need to choose the proper research techniques to make use of. Number 3, find participants to participate in your research. People should check the product you are working on to know what they think about the product. That's user experience. Number 4, execute the research. All right. Number 5, evaluate the gathered data. The data that you have collected from the users, you need to evaluate it, and from there you can make your decision on what to do on the particular said project. All right. Number 6, we have share the result. You need to share the result among your colleagues and workers so that they can know what your result is all about. They can throw more light on it. Don't pretend that you know it all. All right, you need to share results for a thorough understanding of this step and more. All right, in order for you to get a thorough understanding of this step, you have to share the results. So that takes us back to, all right, so which tools are essential for research? So we quickly look into this. So in our next class, we are going to continue from here, but I think this is the end of our research. All right, I believe this class is helpful. So this is the last explanation we are going to be having on this user research. So which tools are essential for user research? Now, there is a wide array of user research tools to pick from, tailored to your research goal. All right, your research goal determines the amount of the tools you are going to be making use of. All right, so organizational size and project specific can determine the kind of tools that you'll be using. So some popular choice include, number one, we have for survey, all right, Typeform or Google Form. Mostly Google Form, that's the major one people use. Google Form to ask some questions and send it to people, your friends and family. Let them have their own say about the design, the experience, what they have to say about this project that is currently going on. Very important. We have card sorting, tools like Optimal Workshop, Maze or Trello. All right, Maze or Trello. Right, we have analyzing user activity. So we have things like Hotjar or Crazy Edge for health map. Right, these are the tools that can be used. We have usability evaluation, platform like Userlytics or Lookback. So the usability evaluation of the users. All right, analyzing qualitative data. All right, Miro or Lucid charts for infinity diagramming. All right, this is very important, analyzing qualitative data. We have crunching numbers. All right, Google Sheets or Microsoft Excel for quantitative insights can be used for this. We have usability testing on prototype, that is tools like Adobe SD or Figma. Figma is one of the most popular tools used, and that is what we use for this particular class to make our design. So usability testing on prototyping, used to prototype, and also used for design. Now we have presenting findings. So use Google Slide, PowerPoint, or Google Slide and PowerPoint is enough for you to be able to present your findings. All right, we have on our list. We also have, now these tools often boost extra features to amplify your research. So all these tools we have listed up here, I've listed to you now, can actually boost extra features to amplify your research. Alright, so last we are going to look at, why is user research vital? Why is it compulsory to make research before you embark on any project? Why is user research, why is it important to us? Alright, so user research is paramount in creating products that align with users' genuine need and preference. Alright, so you want to get the genuine need of, okay, for example, most of the app you see online, before they launch this kind of app, they do user research by asking people questions about the kind of color they would like. For example, you want to create a fintech app, all right, that's why I say that there are no weird colors on those apps. Coloring is very important, color combination. All right, you can ask questions. Maybe you plan to use blue, all right, except the brand color of that particular brand you are working with, you are definitely going to use their color, but how you make use of it matters a lot. So you will need user experience on the project you are currently working on, to lay their own complaint or their own ideas about the particular product, because these are the people that are going to use the product. So if they feel that the design is not what they want to relate with, then you have to that is how you get your research. You have to work on it. So user research is paramount in creating products that align with users' genuine need. Now, the user's genuine need, more emphasis on that, users' genuine needs and preference. So what you are creating is for the users, not for you, and not just for the brand. It is the patronizers of the brand that matters a lot. So instead of basing design on assumption, just assume that people are going to like what you are creating. It provides factual insight into how users feel and interact with the product. All right, so this gives you to know how user will interact with the product, if they like what you are currently creating, what is in production, if they like it or not. This is how you get to know, by doing user research. Now, by engaging in user research, designers can support usability challenge, all right, collect feedback on design's idea, and validate their design decision. All right, for businesses. Now, this not only refine products, offering competitive edge, and lowers the chance of product setback. All right, so this research, the reason why the user research is vital is standard user experience. If you have a standard user experience, that means if you did your user research and you have a standard user experience, it gives a company or that particular brand you are working on or your project a competitive edge and lowers the chance of product setback product setback, the designs of that particular product matters a lot. So you know that in a brand, there are so many things that are involved in it. The people that you are going to, your targeted audience, which are the people that are going to be patronizing that particular brand, or the people that are going to be using that particular app or website that you are trying to create. These people you need to hear from them to know what they have to say about the coloring of the website, the structure of the site. There are some apps you enter, it's so difficult to operate. Obviously, this body pass through user experience. It they pass through user research, alright? It they pass through the user research before they get to the user experience. User experience is what people experience on your site. User research is what we are talking about, which is the research method before you even have to get to user experience. So if you didn't pass through the research method, you are going to be having issue with people complaining about your app. App that people complain about shouldn't be launched. Alright, app people complain about should be app that is still in the development phase, so that the complaint of these people will be put into consideration in order to get the desired result, because these people are the ones you are looking forward to make use of these products. You guys understand what the user research mean? So I will see you in my next class.